Hey everyone, Matt here. It is Wednesday. That is the main event time where we go over our main topics for the week. So if you're watching or listening, this is the meat and potatoes of the episode. If we happen to have any news to discuss as well, that's where we'll talk about it here. For the full episode, check us out on Saturdays. Thanks for watching and listening. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. I'm Matt Clausen from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from D Take Cards. RJ, how are you today?
I'm well. The incomparable Dolly Parton lost her husband today on March the 3rd. So it is a sad day for Dolly Parton. And as we all know, Dolly Parton is our true Lord and Savior.
All right. We're also joined by Tariq from Rick's Rewards. Tariq, how are you today?
Good. Had a good Monday. And if we're going to add on to the we lost somebody good or notable, rest in peace to Angie Stone. We lost her over the weekend. The music world is still mourning.
Yes. RJ, not to take anything away, it's just there's no saving this timeline.
Oh, absolutely not. But Dolly Parton taking Governor to task for ending her book drive for kids who get free books is something I enjoy. I enjoy Dolly Parton telling people to act right. I do deeply enjoy that.
Yes. And Lonnie is away this week. He is traveling in Europe. Business pleasure, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But check out Lonnie's channel, become a member on his channel to check out his travel experiences that are behind the paywall. Short plug there. So we're going to move to our news and topics of the week. First bit of news, it's not really news. There was rumor, but not really rumor. Here's what happened. Over the weekend, folks were reporting on Discord and various other forums in the credit card space. I wasn't noticing it in the MyFICO forums, but it was hitting the subreddit, the churning subreddit. It was hitting the credit card subreddit. It was hitting, I believe, Boggleheads was another forum. Again, I didn't see it on the MyFICO forums. That doesn't mean it wasn't there. Chase was starting to show business cards reporting to personal credit. And this has happened before, according to the Doctor of Credit. A couple years ago, there was a glitch in the system. Looks like there was another glitch this weekend. And what was happening was business cards were reporting to personal credit. Now, we've talked about business cards on and off here on the show. If a business card reports to personal credit, what happens is all the utilization on that business card will go to your credit. One of the big things that will really kill your credit score, can really kill your credit score, is overall utilization and per card utilization. So your overall utilization, if a business card is reporting to your personal credit, may not be bad. But if it's a business card that has a lower than your typical personal card limit and you're using, say, 2,500 of a $3,000 credit limit, that utilization is painful when reported to personal credit. So there are folks who are reporting, up to 80-point losses on their TransUnion scores. Folks have called Chase customer service today. It looks like it has been reported to be a glitch. If you've been affected, you'd have to call Chase and highlight that, this card that you open is reporting to your personal credit, and it could take, 6 to 8 weeks for it to get reversed. It will, like, once they reverse it and take it off of your personal credit score, will go up because that utilization isn't being reported. That new card on your account isn't being reported. The biggest thing here was Chase was dinging everybody's, I call it the Chase marketing term, but Chase's 524 score, which is you can't apply for more than 5 personal cards in a 24-month span. These were being added to personal credit, therefore becoming personal cards. And everybody would be going from like 424, but really I've added 6 business cards to, oh my God, I can't get another Chase card for the next however long. I have once again taken up too much time on this. RJ, anything to add here?
I thought that was a wonderful recap, Matt. Very interesting. No, I think so. Here's the thing, right? There is a firewall of sorts between personal and business cards. A business card will 100% report if you are delinquent. So that is the quote one case where it is going to report for any company. One thing that I think we all need to take from this is that, yes, if Chase is saying it's a glitch, sure, whatever. But if they decide to tomorrow be like, yeah, we want to curtail the ink train for a little while, they'll just let them report. Like, they can change the rules. And in the environment we're in, it is likely they're going to change the rules even more in their favor, right? So maybe churning a bunch of business cards because you think you can get away with it without it hitting your personal credit. Maybe you want to rethink that strategy. Maybe you want to not call recon for the seventh business inc because you think you can, eke out those last 90,000 points when you're sitting on, 1.2 million of them or whatever it is. I would be a little more cautious going forward. I am not a churner, but I'm personally going to be a little more cautious going forward simply because of the fact that companies are going to be able to play a little more fast and loose with how they enforce some of their rules. And this may have been a glitch. There was a little bit of a warning shot where people are now going to be a little more cautious. So be careful out there because they're the house and they also make the rules.
Yes. Yeah, just because it was a glitch this time doesn't mean that it's going to be a glitch going forward is definitely something you should take out of this. Like if you've gotten multiple business cards, great. Just ask yourself if that fourth or that next business card is going to be worth it if they all get reported to your personal credit. You may want to pick your business cards the way you want to pick your long-term cards if you are looking to be in business long-term. Just putting that out there. I also did a video that I dropped right before starting to record tonight, kind of there's a difference between business and business spend. If you're doing business spend, be careful. No, not be careful. Just think about it. And those who are doing business spend that this will actually affect, I apologize. Tariq, any final thoughts here?
When I saw the Discord conversations about the glitch, I kind of chuckled and I was like, well, I wouldn't be getting a chase card for the next 2 to 3 years because I'd be probably like at 6 or 724. I haven't really did the calculations lately. But in response to what RJ said, 5 months ago, we did an episode about business cards. So, we can go back and you can see me in a dress shirt and a tie. And as Gerald said, I look like a high school principal. But that's probably going to be where we kind of gave as much detail as we could about business cards because of the prevalence of business cards in the YouTube credit card community space and people, creators, ourselves included, just use them as regular cards when in reality, we probably shouldn't. But we all have businesses and we justify it some way, shape, or form because we don't use those cards to spend for tax filing purposes.
Yeah, Chase could change the rules. American Express could change the rules. Capital One could change the rules. Capital One has business cards that report to your personal credit. Discover, when Discover issued business cards, had business cards that reported to your personal credit. Citi only has two business cards, but like they could choose to report those to your personal credit. Like they can flip a switch at any time. You are not immune to it. And if it happens, it happens. Like you're not going to be able to have much recourse if they do. And you're seriously not going to have any recourse since there's no, I don't know. What if there was a government agency that was independent that, was focused on your financial protection? What if it was a bureau of some sort that actually existed?
That is socialism, Matt. Don't even go there. It's
I can't believe you would think of like a bureau that was focused on consumer financial protections. The nerve of something so far-fetched, Matt. Come on.
Move to a state where a senator was supposed to lead that agency. Anyway, I'm not. The tax difference wouldn't be all that much different. It's not enough. Yeah, just no. You're not going to have, you have even less recourse now than you did 6 months ago. Because anyway, we'll move over to our topics. And Tariq, how about you start us off with topics this week?
All right. So recently, I actually just did the one thing that you can really do when you turn 25 is booking a rental car without having to pay any extra fees because you're 24 years old or younger. It's because I'm going on a trip and I have an hour and a half drive from the airport that I'm flying into. And it had me thinking because I also traveled to Chicago and did a lot of time on the L, specifically the red line. So that had me thinking about whenever we're traveling, what is your preferred method of, I'll just say the big three, that being rideshare, rental cars, or public transit? What is your go-to? What's the one you gravitate to and why? For me, if I had the ability, I always like to do the public transit. I've had a really big fascination for especially metro rail and light rail, mostly because the city that I live in doesn't, all we have is a bus system and it sucks. So I get a little jealous of people being able to get around and having walkable cities. So if I can test out and use a city's public rail system, I'm a big fan of that. Other than that, I lean more towards Lyft whenever I just need to get around. So RJ, you do a lot of travel. What's your go-to in?
So it depends on a couple of things. If I am doing a family trip, so if I'm with my parents or any of my extended family, usually we'll rent a car because my stepfather can and will drive anywhere. He grew up going down to DC and driving there. So once you can drive the Beltway just for fun,
Wait, hang on. He willingly drives in DC?
yes.
Bless his
He
heart.
he will drive New York City, he'll drive DC, he'll drive anywhere. And he's a very good driver, so it's one of those things that if we're doing a family thing, renting a car is easy, right? Like unless we're in like the middle of Philly or the middle of New York City, right? Where it makes more sense to use another method. But it depends. So if we're with the sort of a family thing, renting a car happens sometimes. You know, if we're in the middle of New York City, we're probably either going to walk, maybe use the subway, but where we usually stay and do, it's just easier to walk. And then depending on where we are, we use Uber just because I am the controller of the app. So I have Uber because it connects with the stuff I have. I get credits from Amex. So usually that, like when we did a family trip to Louisville a couple of years ago, that's how we got around, right? We got a rental car. I'm sorry, we got an Uber to the hotel. We got a couple Ubers around for places we couldn't walk, and then we Ubered back to the airport. So we didn't have to drive. It was relatively easy, worked. When we went to a trip to Philly, we had a car so we could, drive around because we were on the outskirts of Philly. It made sense, right? So it really depends on what we're doing, or if I'm by myself, I'm just going to Uber everywhere. I did not grow up in a place with a public transit. It is a probably hour and a half walk to the nearest supermarket for me from my house. I live in the middle of nowhere, which means I don't have any concept of how public transportation works, like other than just like a general idea that there are things you get on and they take you to other places. But like my brain does not process public transit well because I just didn't grow up with it. I've never lived in a place where public transit has been the primary mode of how people get around. So for me, I rather Uber or walk. So that's a little bit of a scattered answer, but it really kind of depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing.
Hey, that's the beauty of this podcast. It depends is as good of an answer as a concrete black or white answer. Full disclosure, I didn't grow up with public transit either, but I kind of had a love with it when I flew into DC or went to DC and I rode the metro. And yeah, I've just been a fan since. And I am potentially going to Philadelphia in October, and I'm already doing research on their public rail system because I'm that much of a weirdo and nerd for it. Matt, what say you? Especially because you're also in that area where the New York subway and stuff exists.
First, let me just say SEPTA is evil incarnate. So, have fun. Beyond that, and I know that I've pissed off like all four listeners in the southeastern Pennsylvania area who swear by SEPTA. Anyway, I would say yes, it will depend. If I'm going with my family anywhere, we're probably going to rent a car. It also depends on where I'm going. Like if I'm staying pretty close to the center city of some area of wherever, like when I'm in DC, I'll ride the metro. I'll grab an Uber. DC is going to be public transit and rideshare because I don't want to drive in DC. I don't want to get past 20th Street driving. Like I actually wouldn't even want to like enter the district. I would rather just park my car in Silver Spring and just take the metro in. That just sounds better on so many levels. If I'm doing something like when we did our trip to Detroit last year and a follow-up trip to Detroit this year, I will like we flew into Detroit Wayne. I rented a car. I drove up to the Auburn Hills area where we were staying. If I'm flying to Raleigh, Durham, I'm going to rent a car because everything in North Carolina you got to drive to anyway. Like there's no intrastate public transit. If I'm staying in a big city, I'll do rental cars. If I'm and no, I'm sorry. If I'm in a big city and I have no intention of like leaving that city, public transit and ride shares. If I've got to go out into the hinterlands outside of the city, and then I got to rent a car. Like there's just no two ways around it. If I had chosen to drive to Baton Rouge when we did the creator meetup, then yeah, I was going to have to rent a car to go to drive to Baton Rouge. Did I do that? No, because I didn't want to. But if you're going to fly into Cincinnati, Louisville, or Cincinnati, Covington, and then like drive down to Louisville, you're going to have to rent a car. If you're going to fly into Chicago and you have any pretense of leaving, what is it, going past like Evanston, you're going to need to rent a car. Actually, I think you'll need to rent a car if you go to Evanston anyway. I wish we had Lonnie on this week so that he could fact check me on that one, but there we go. Yeah, if you're in a big enough city and you've got strong public transit, I will take public transit or rideshare. If there's any chance that I have to leave the city for whatever reason, car. I'm going to rent a car.
Fair. And for anyone that decides to visit San Antonio, your best options is going to be either rideshare or you may as well just get the rental. We have the Via Bus, and that bus system, it just sucks. My girlfriend uses.
They still allow ride sharing down there? That's not communism?
You know, we'll see in the next 3 years, but it's still allowable. But it's a car, and you still have to pay use gas, and if you know anything about Texas, it's oil and gas. Also, full disclosure, I would never drive in DC because the max speed limit on highways is 55. 55 is like surface streets here in Texas.
Yeah, but the traffic is so bad you never get to 55 to begin with.
That's even worse. No, we have an 85-mile-an-hour speed limit toll road that people will easily do 100 on. What?
Look, when it comes to DC, 95 between the Baltimore Beltway and DC is a parking lot. The Baltimore-Washington Highway is a parking lot. Everything going around DC is a parking lot. DC itself is a parking lot. Fairfax, Virginia is a parking lot. Alexandria is a parking lot. Center City, Crystal City is a parking lot. Chantilly, which is where Dulles is, like way out there, that's also a parking lot. It's all a parking lot.
Wow. Thank God for the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, or I would probably never go to DC.
Yeah, no. Everything between Baltimore and like Manassas is a parking lot.
Amtrak friends, just go to Baltimore and Amtrak your way into DC.
Yes. Amtrak points, super valuable. And just, had to mention those. RJ, your topic of the week.
Should credit card companies make some weird cards again? Because it feels like every company's got the $95 3X dining, general travel-ish card. They've got the, quote, premium card that you're going to pay somewhere between, I don't know, just pulling these numbers out of my head, $395 and $695 for, with maybe a pit stop around $550 for, but the cards feel more homogenous. Like outside of the Attune, which is a little bit special just because it's got a couple of different categories, it feels like every company has the same like 5 cards just rebranded for their program. And it feels like not having weird cards doesn't set them apart. So yeah, it's kind of nice because you can pick your partners and sort of earn in that category or earn in that ecosystem. But I kind of miss some weird cards. I like some specialized cards. I like some fun cards. Matt, as the Amex Zinc, I think it was, proprietor and history keeper, do you want weird cards to come back?
Yes, but with the proviso that it shouldn't be startups doing weird cards. I would say startups that are looking to the weird, because we have one very clear example that RJ likes to beat up on, insert built rants here. And you've got another example in Mesa that has recently launched, like their card has launched to no fanfare whatsoever because one, there's no transfer partners yet. And two, nobody knows how their mortgage thing works without applying for the card. So it's a little hard to really give strong, what do you call it on that one? Strong feedback on that one, because I signed up for the app and I just noped out as soon as I got the information I needed. Maybe I'll sign up for it again, but whatever. Weird cards should be coming from the major banks. Like, I feel like Chase had a card before they decided to go in on Freedom that was like relatively weird. Citi has definitely done weird cards. Citi did the Citi Dividend, which was like the precursor to the Freedom Flex, where you could spend all your $6,000 allotment in the year on one quarterly category if you wanted to. Like, they gave you that level of freedom to it, which feels liberating in this time now. Beyond the Citi Dividend card, they had the Citi Forward card, which gave you like 5 times points on bookstores, right? Bookstores isn't something you really think of. So that was like the secret Amazon card to get a while ago. Citi should come out with it should come out with experimental cards. Like, I'd be more interested in Citi if they came out with cards with like wacky categories, because like I'd actually want to go and spend some time learning about those instead of, well, here's our double cash, you get 1x when you spend and 1x when you pay off the card. Here's the custom cash, which is absolutely stupid when you spend 500. If you spend $500 a month or less on something, well, no, then it's great. But if you spend more than $500, then you got the Citi Strata Premier, which is pretty much the Chase Sapphire Preferred, except it gives you groceries.
Woo! And gas. Do better, Chase.
Woo! Chase come out with a mobile wallet category. Sapphire Preferred, 2x mobile wallet. Don't care about the rest of the categories. Sapphire Reserve, 3.5x mobile wallet. Don't care about the rest of the categories. Keep the same redemption multipliers in the travel portal. Effective like 5.25% cash back on mobile wallet using the 1.5 redemption kicker. Like, you're going to lose money, but like so many more people will sign up for your card. You'll make it up in volume. Anyway, there should be like the big bang should experiment. Like the American Express, if American Express was hurting for signups, they should bring back the Zinc. American Express isn't hurting for signups because everybody thinks that the gold card is a flex card when it's not. Everybody thinks that the platinum card is some sort of flex when it's not. Nobody thinks of the true value of the green card except for discerning credit card users because, you know, y'all have a brain. And then there's their membership reward dollar cards, which stop making membership reward dollars a thing and put on your big boy pants and make those MR earning cards. And I've solved your problem there. Even though you don't have a problem, you're raking in tons in profits because people are dumb. So yeah, I do think that the bigger banks should do zany stuff, because you had cards come out that were like healthcare focused. There was the Ness card for a while that gave you like a wooden credit card that flamed out. There was one called like the Paceline card that would actually gave you an Apple Watch at one point in terms of its promotions, because they had so much VC money to burn. Gave you a watch back when VCs actually cared about startups. And like you could earn it back with like exercise and stuff like that and like health focused spending categories. So there are interesting cards out there. They're just not from the big banks. Like the Amergy Bank Reserve card is interesting because it's 5 times points on something and 2x on everything else. And it's like what the Sapphire Reserve could be if Chase wanted to support that. You got the Fairwinds credit union card, the Fairwinds Visa signature card that's like 5x on travel, 5x on theme parks of all things, and 2x on everything else. 3x dining in there as well. So, you know, the big banks should come out with the interesting and weird cards just because they can support those losses for a little bit. US Bank is sort of like this, where you've got the Cash Plus card. The Cash Plus card is cool. Shopper Rewards card is like cool. It's a base 1.5x, but on everything else. And that's about it. So yeah, the big bank should focus on weird cards because like they have their daily drivers, but like give me something a little bit weird.
I support this. Would you get a Zinc if they came back, Matt? Would that get you into a non-Hilton, non-Blue Business Plus Amex card?
I would need better packages because the problem with the Zinc card was that the packages that they offered, like the packs that they offered at the time, were only 2x. So if you were offering me like up to a $450 annual fee, but I could get like 5x on entertainment and 5x on insurance payments, I'd be down. But the Zinc as was presented, like, was a card for kids who are coming out of college in the throes of the Great Recession, and you had to pay like $25 per pack, and the packs really weren't all that compelling when it was 2x.
It would be interesting if they brought the zinc back because then they could compete against a bill, right? Like if you have the, say, it's Amex, so $150 annual fee to have a rent card like that, right? Like they could come out with a new pack, try it for a while without having to come out with an entirely new credit card, which I think could be an interesting way for them to be more flexible. Tariq, should credit card companies get weird, man?
Yeah, I think so. It'd be pretty cool. I mean, as much as we were kind of blindsided by the Wells Fargo tune, that's like the quintessential weird card that we've had in 2024 going into 2025. I don't think it's going to get any weirder than the Attune right now. And to honestly call that card weird is a little underwhelming when you really get into like the nitty gritty of it. I think when we look back, and I think we had like discontinued cards that we had, and I pulled out the Bank of America Better Balance Rewards card, where it was the easiest cash grab you can get, where you can get like a small purchase and then just make one payment and get 25 bucks a quarter. Pretty weird. I think, and it kind of goes on to like what Matt says, is like these bigger banks, Chase, Amex, Wells Fargo, Citi, Bank of America, they can afford to take the hit versus like the Paceline credit card, which is still on a wait list because, it's kind of a hard thing to justify getting cash back for like a super niche small category like fitness, and you're going to get an Apple Watch for it. So I think we should get weird. I mean, I'm an hour and a half south of Austin, so I know a thing or two about weird. So
It's not
I
quite
think
For
Portland, but it has the same vibe.
let's get
for
weird,
everyone
baby.
continuing the drinking game, I'm sorry.
There was a Star Trek credit card. I am sad that I could not get a red captain's uniform with the four pips. I am very sad that I will never have that credit card.
Oh, are you telling me I got OG Star Trek red shirted?
No, not that uniform. It was a next gen uniform.
I know what I'm saying is got OG Star Trek red
Yeah.
shirted.
Oh, yes.
Come
Yes, it
on.
did.
Look, my
Well,
dad is a bit of a Trekkie. I'm a diet Trekkie. I know a little bit, for crying out loud.
Matt, spontaneous question. Favorite, not best, favorite Star Trek captain.
Oh no, you've asked me this. I've said Cisco.
Okay. Yes, I know, but I didn't ask it on the air, and now you're on record.
I see what you've done there.
I have.
Mariner's mom was also hilarious,
Freeman was excellent. I do appreciate Freeman. And her father
but
was an admiral.
yeah, yeah, everybody should aspire to be Beckett Mariner. Really, no, across like the more like traditional Star Trek captains, it's hard to argue against the one that has a strong moral compass and is literally a god.
Janeway?
No.
I know I'm picking on you because I can.
Yes. Oh, that was the one that was issued by NASA Federal Credit Union, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Didn't realize they retired that one.
Also, Cisco's technically a commander, but I'm gonna let that go.
He got fully promoted, right? Right as the Dominion show up. They put the extra
Yeah,
pip on him.
no, it doesn't count.
You're just angry because he committed a little bit of genocide.
I
Yeah,
apologize to all the people who don't know what the hell is going on right now.
I
know we're supposed
guarantee
to be
more
a credit
people
card
know about Star
podcast.
Trek than don't know about Star Trek in this community. I'm sorry. It is two very connected circles when it comes to that, Tariq.
That whole bunch of spectrum right there.
Matt, I think it's time for your topic.
Sure. Also, fun fact from the original series, the number of like red shirt deaths, most of them weren't wearing red shirts. More blues and yellows than anyway. So we're just going to recycle my topic from the lost episode because, well, it's a lost episode and y'all didn't hear it. My topic is: have you experienced burnout with credit cards and welcome offers? Welcome offers may be the best return for you on credit card spend, but there are way too many to chase and even fewer worth chasing for whatever reason. Have you previously experienced burnout? Are you experiencing burnout? How are you handling it? And I will turn to RJ for this one first.
So I am becoming less of a fan of using points to pay for things and more caring about what the card gives me overall. No, I'm not saying I don't want to use points, right? Like that's not what I'm saying. But I don't mind paying cash for sort of the lower, like the getaway for a weekend stay, stuff like that. I don't mind paying cash for that because I can accrue points for bigger redemptions later. So I care about the things my cards give me, the credits that I can use easily, the perks that I can use, things like that. So for me, I'm not chasing a bunch of welcome offers, so I'm not as burnt out on it. I think that the problem is where I am. I have gotten the cards with the welcome offers I would naturally go for anyway. So now I'm at a place where not many welcome offers do I look at and go, oh, that's awesome. Because, like, I'm not a chase person, so the inks never are going to turn my head because could I move 90,000 or 99,000 chase points to Marriott? Sure. But, like, I don't really stay at Marriott super much. And if I'm going to stay at a Marriott, I'm probably going to pay cash for it. So it's like the welcome offers I would want, I've already gotten. I use my cards more for the perks than necessarily accruement of points unless I'm going for a specific thing. Like if I'm staying at or if I'm doing something where, you know, it behooves me to use a specific card, I'm going to do that. But I'm also like if I stay at a choice hotel, I'm going to use my choice card, right? Because that gives me the best return. But if I say use my Amex green for whatever reason, like I put it in and the green caught instead of the choice, I'm not going to be worried about that, right? So it becomes this thing of like I'm not chasing welcome offers, so I'm not burnt out by them. If Amex came out with an insane welcome offer, 300,000 Hilton points on, 6,000 spend in 3 months on a Aspire or whatever, and I could get approved for the card, I would not feel burnt out by that, right? But right now, there's just nothing that turns my head enough for me to chase it to be burnt out by it. So I am happy in the place I am, but I'm in the place I am because I've gotten a bunch of welcome offers to where there's not, unless I find a no lifetime language link, I've gotten what I'm going to get.
Definitely makes sense. Tariq.
So I'm obviously still only in like the first, just hit year 2 in points and miles. So there's a lot of welcome offers that I could potentially hit, but I have done it at an extremely high velocity in year 1. So even though I don't feel I'm burned out in credit card welcome offers, there's a certain bank that is probably burnt out of me
Blue
applying for
trapezoids.
cards. Yeah, Blue Trapezoids. Kevin Hart does a lot of advertising. The Warriors play in the stadium or in the basketball arena that they got naming rights to. Yeah, they said I applied for a United card for those who don't know, but at this point, if you watch Stack Your Points enough, you already know. And they said, hell
There's
no.
like 3 infamous episodes about that now.
Yes. This will be number 4.
One after the other.
So they said no. They're about tired of my ass hitting apply and going through and like, bruh, not only do we see your personal cards, we see that you applied for business cards. Cut the crap. So no, I'm not burned out. I could go for more, but I still have to wait because they're burned out with me. So
Chase's response to you is, "Oh God." To
I'm
those playing
that person when
to
it comes
that
to
playing
chase.
to those playing that drinking game. I'm sorry. Oh, we went the blue field and the white trapezoids. There we go. Perfect.
And you
RJ,
know
this
what?
has
It's
to
perfect
burn your
because
soul doing.
this is actually perfect because there's a lot of times where RJ's tired of my shit.
This feels a little bit like me walking into a church. I'm slightly uncomfortable and my skin feels a little burning.
Quick, go put up the Centurion. Yeah, so you had that happen. Tariq, I think Chase's stance for you right now is it's not you, it's us, but really it's you.
It's us because we're tired of giving you a bunch of points.
So how soon until you try your hand at a Southwest card?
Hell if I know. At this point, I'd have to wait forever, and that's if I don't feel like applying for another card that I can earn IAT points or something.
That's fair. All right. Yeah, see, RJ, isn't that more comfortable? You're muted.
She's so in peace, she can't even talk. That's how comfortable and quiet she is.
Great. The Centurion is roughly where my head is, so I think I'm going to keep this for the rest of the episode.
There we go. No, there's much more left. So, am I experiencing burnout on credit cards or credit card welcome offers? There's one that stealthily launched late last night that I am very much interested in doing. That is the year-long cashback match on the Chase Freedom Unlimited. That was like one of the only ones where it was like, I will drop everything to get that offer. I'm sort of in a place where I'm a bit burnt out. I didn't go as hard as many others have, but going through last year where, I added the Attune, I added the Blue Business Plus. I'm questioning why I added the Blue Business Plus. Like, it made sense, it makes sense, but like it's one of those like I have no problem holding the card, but like then I did a authorized user welcome offer on it, and that one's just burning me right now, like burning me out right now. Once I finish that one, I think I'm done for a while.
Apply for the Chase card because you told Chase if they brought this back, you would apply for it. Now you have to be a man of your word.
Do it for the credit card enthusiast that
I
can't
think
open
you
a
should
Chase
fill out
card.
the application right now, and I'll cut the section if if you don't get approved, but I think you should fill it out right now.
Do
Oh.
it.
Come on,
Do
Matt.
it.
You
Do it.
told them
Do
you would
it.
apply
Do
if they
it.
brought it back.
Be a man
Come
of your
on.
word, Matt. What would your little one say if she eventually saw this video and said that her dad isn't the man of his word?
No.
Come on. Come on.
I went there.
I mean, she doesn't know about credit cards. She's not.
She
gonna know
will
about credit
eventually.
cards.
Her dad is Matt Clausen.
At some point, you're gonna have around 18 cards as an authorized user, Matt. So let's chop. Let's get this application going.
Do it for your tidbit, Matt. That's what I'm gonna call her now. Your tidbit.
That's great. Love that. So what'd you do last night? Well, we had a podcast and then we decided to have Matt apply for a credit card as Tariq and I commentate it.
I don't like y'all.
You like us very much. That's the problem.
You do like us. If you didn't like us, you wouldn't be here on a Monday doing this.
That's fair.
You also have said in the chat about 57 times that you need to apply for this offer. So we're just helping you do that push that you need.
Also, I'm in shock that RJ said apply for the card, so I'm definitely going to ride this train until it derails. Unlike the ink train.
Told the universe if they brought it back, you would apply. I believe in being a person of your word.
Full. I agree on that one fully. So,
Anyway, what
just
am I doing
don't
here?
forget to unlock your reports before you do this.
Plus, we have time.
I like how you
because
assumed that I would do that.
plus
I
we
have
plenty
forgotten
of-
to unlock my reports, which is why I bring it up.
It's a good thing we have time since we know this is a Lonnie-less episode, so that's one less topic and one less answer for each question. So we have a lot of time for an application.
Lonnie wouldn't let us bully him this way. It's sad. Also, I'm going to cut this section down a little bit when I edit, but I got a bunch of offers for my Delta Reserve card, and they're all like percents back. It's like earn 4% back on purchases of up of X. Like all of the other ones on all of my other cards are like spend $50, get $20 back. But for some reason, the Reserve is like, we're going to give you all of the percentages. We're going to make you do math.
I mean, that's all just statement credit, right? Yeah.
Oh, so you're earning member reward dollars?
Terms and conditions.
It's slightly different because it's 100%. Like if it's, $7, it's exactly $7. It's not like 60% or whatever.
Okay, so I used the link that was dropped in the Discord last night, and I had Tip join the Discord for a link to an offer on a Chase card that most people don't need, but hey, 3% on everything.
Got it?
Wait. Admin pending.
We tried.
So anyway,
No one will see this.
Just cut it. Nobody will see it. We'll come in, we'll drop it like it's hot beginning of next week's show when we get out a review and they've approved it for you.
Yeah, so that was the thing we did. Yeah. Am I feeling burnout? I don't necessarily feel like I'm feeling burnout, but I just want to not worry about welcome offers for a little while. I'm working through like the 12 and 15 and 18-month periods from last year, and I'm going to focus on those before I get too deep in the woods on anything else. Because the only other card that is of any sort of interest, but given that, you know, premium cards have burned me so far this year, would be the premium Wells card. And there's no word on when that's coming. So why worry about anything, you know?
Would there be a transfer partner that you would accept with Wells if the card was the exact same as the Sapphire Reserve that would get you to give up the Sapphire Reserve and go with the Wells Fargo Beyond? Assuming exact same card, like same category, 1.5 in the kicker, like all of that same thing. What would Wells have to do for a transfer partner to get you to give up on the chase and go to the Wells? Because we talk about transfer partners for us, but like we're unrealistic sometimes. But you are a fan of the Wells and you know their ecosystem better than we do.
I think if they landed, if they get JetBlue 1-to-1, that would be huge. If they get another hotel, that would be really intriguing. I don't know if they could still from built. The other thing that has always like been playing in my head, and I know it's not likely, but like if they could get some sort of transfer ship where you could turn Wells Fargo points into built points
That
and built
is
points
going to
into Wells Fargo
happen
points.
about 15 minutes after I'm elected the new pope.
I mean, you have a better chance of being elected pope than like the CFPB coming back in the next 4 years.
Actually, no, I don't.
Yep. You know, they've gone outside the church before. They've done some things. You're a lot closer to getting elected pope right now, given the pope's current health.
Wow.
Anyway, had to.
Or
JetBlue coming over would be great. Would be weird. Would be good weird, but like Chase already has JetBlue, so like that's negligible. I think them adding Built or them adding Hilton or them somehow adding American Airlines would be something. But AA, where I am, is just like I'm stuck flying into hubs as well. So Hilton would be cool. And Hilton or Hyatt, I guess, would be cool.
You're gonna have Amex and Chase show up at your house with baseball bats just for mentioning Hilton and Hyatt.
You know, Jamie needs to get off that pedestal because Hyatt is just falling every year. There's more hotels going up in category than coming down. The points are like not as great when you net them out. Every category one, like, is there going to be a category one in the United States left in the next like 4 years? Tariq, are there going to be any category ones in the next 4 years? Okay. Like Hyatt, we are overhyping Hyatt to the extreme at this point. Like Hyatt is not what it was, and their strategy is adding more high-end stuff, which is fine, but you don't have the footprint that your bigger competitors have, and you're not doing anything to address it. And I know that they want to be asset light and stuff, but like build 3,000 more Hyatt places, Hyatt hotel, Hyatt houses, Hyatt selects, and Hyatt studios before you worry about the all-inclusives.
problem is Hyatt still has an award chart, and they are going to ride that till the wheels fall off because they are people, myself included, that are living and dying by said award chart. So I am partially to blame.
And that's great, but there are fewer and fewer category ones. Like every category two is now like what 9,000 on the weekend, 9,000 points on the weekend, and like 9,000 points is great, and especially when you have like those high volume weekends. But Hyatt needs to expand its footprint, and being asset light, they don't see any reason to. And that like they have a diametrically opposed like need in terms of getting more locations and business structure that does not allow them to expand and give us more options and like really be healthy competition. So like Hyatt is getting overvalued. The Mr. and Mrs. Smith debacle has not helped. Losing SLH did not help. The Palazzo being dynamic, like they're eventually when they go dynamic, when they give up the award chart, and they're not giving up the award chart this year, when they give up the award chart, everything falls. So Jamie can come at me with a baseball bat, but like Jamie knows in the back of his head, Hyatt's not really the pony to keep riding. Like he got to diversify a little bit. But it'd be better if you could get Marriott 1-2 or IHG 1-2 with his points.
IHG 1-2 would be nice.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
Especially since they've extended their agreement and like IHG wants more people coming in. That would make sense. So yeah, Wells transfer partner that would make me drop everything from Chase. Bringing in JetBlue would help, but realistically right now there isn't anything else that really like moves the needle significantly. That's kind of the problem with where Chase is with the transfer partner game. Like they've got to scrape the bottom of the barrel, and like they're not going to be able to get the Hiltons, they're not going to be able to get the Hyatts until those contracts come up. And Amex now can just play keep away and not extend a really good deal. And Chase will just play keep away and not extend a good deal. So I think as a backdoor built, and Wells should work on a transfer partnership, but that's just me. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. If you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to join our Discord, check out the description, as we always have a link for it there. You can ask questions there. Use the Friday show for questions on the question show, and you can use the email at stackyourpoints@gmail.com. RJ, if folks wanted to find you on the internet, where's the best place to find you?
Check out the Stack Your Points Discord. I am there causing mayhem and chaos by not wanting to do math.
Absolutely. Tariq, best place to find you?
You can also find me on the Stack Your Points Discord, trying my best to avoid the corner, but that is a lose game for me.
Oh, yeah. You've been in the corner this whole time. Maybe that's why you keep talking about Texas.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to be leaving the corner because,
You pick Southwest?
I picked Texas.
Ken Paxton will have a word. Anyway, you can find me on the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, here on the Stack Your Points YouTube channel, the Stack Your Points Discord. All of those places would be great, or easy places to find me. I recently dropped a video on the Chase Inc. train situation and how there's a difference between business and business spend, and just be on the lookout going forward. So that'll do it for this week's episode. We look forward to seeing you next week. Lonnie should be back, and we'll talk to you later.